Brad Levin from Comic Experience Sci-Fi. We're here live at Joe's Hamburgers in Wyandotte. And what we'd like to do right now is introduce you to Jeremy. He's the owner of the establishment and our host today. Jeremy, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Good to see
Welcome
you.
to Joe's Hamburgers.
Thank you for having us.
Jeremy.
Thank you, guys. So we started the restaurant back in 2009, October 12th, 2009.
Okay.
That was our first day, and we've been here 5 years now. We started off in a little the slider joint, the box, you know,
okay.
20 seats, real small place, about 400 square feet.
Wow.
We saved up all our pennies, and we never got to spend them.
Oh, really?
If you,
So they're on those are your pennies.
those are all my pennies, and some of my friends too.
Wow.
You get a chance to look at the floor here. There's about 25,000 pennies tiling the floor at Joe's Hamburgers. It's amazing.
I'm sorry, we might be sitting on 25,000. There's over 250,000 pennies on the
Oh
floor.
my goodness.
There's 250,000 pennies on the floor? That's right.
Oh, yeah,
That's right. We talked
yeah.
about that. Yeah, by an order of magnitude, I apologize.
And is that the kind of floor that really makes sense?
It makes
Get
no
it?
sense.
No,
My
get it.
grandfather,
It's a joke, get it?
my grandfather just said. I asked him. I said he collects coins. I said, hey, why don't we just take all your coins and we'll glue them on the floor? You know, we'll just fire up the whole family. You know, and he's like, are you crazy? So then I kind of came up with this idea, and I just bought 125 cases of pennies.
That's insane.
I broke my kid's wagon.
What's the connection between the restaurant or the bar/restaurant you started in your grandfather's business? I understand there's a connection between the two, or
You know, when I was a little kid, we used to live over in Ford City, which back in the day, that's what all the old timers called it, Ford City. You know, it's Wyandotte, but each area had little names and stuff. Well, we lived right on 4th and Davis, and me and my grandfather, we used to walk up the Davis Hill, which was not that big now, but back then it was huge.
It was a truck.
And we'd head down to the local slider joint, Watkins, and I'd get a French fry, a slider, and a milkshake. But you know, it was just always something I've wanted to do. You know, I love food. I love my grandfather. I love my family. I love doing all this stuff. It's just phenomenal.
I need to ask you, Jeremy, a Nutella slider.
Amazing.
This is a hamburger with Nutella spread and marshmallow whip.
Sweet and savory. I get it.
Sweet and savory.
That's
a
something I would
chocolate
like.
marshmallow hamburger.
And one of our other most notable popular sliders, the sticky slider. It comes with cheese, bacon, and peanut butter.
Ooh.
And that's our number one.
The George Washington Carver burger.
Right. I don't know George Washington. He was
a peanut scientist. Sorry. Nerd alert. Nerd alert.
I'm pretty good on my history, not the peanut history.
No, that's okay.
I'm not familiar either.
So,
Besides, I like pistachios.
so tell us about all the kinds of fries you have here at Joe's
Our
Hamburgers.
French fries. We have regular fries, which all our French fries are hand cut, and then we have regular gravy fries, chili cheese fries, a really great French Canadian dish called poutine, which is fries layered with cheese and our own home brown gravy sauce.
Oh,
It's
wow.
phenomenal.
Delicious.
That sounds
Totally
delicious.
delicious.
It's our number one seller. And then we also have poppy fries, which taste just like elephant ears. And I named that after my daughter. I named two things after my kids, poppy fries and the Rocket dog. My daughter's name's Poppy, my son's name's Rocket.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's really family connected here.
Yeah, my kids are real little. My daughter's 1, my son's 3. They're both raised here. I mean, at our other spot, you know, even to this day, my son's like, I want to go to the other slider joint, you know. He grew up right there. I mean, I used to put him in a little Johnny jumper, and he'd swing back and forth and grab dozen bag of buns. Just whip them up.
What's cool about this place is you say you just opened it, but it looks so vintage. Like it's been here for a long
Well,
time.
this is everything my wife would not let me bring in the house.
I see.
I mean, really.
See.
I mean, look around. We have a 40-foot long bar that's been covered in old-fashioned comic book covers that date probably from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So, and apparently there's some real expensive ones, eh? Yes.
So where did you get all the comic books to do this?
Well, half of them came from my collection that I've had since I was 10 years old. My good friend Tony Maiello, he donated a handful. My grandfather donated a handful also. Between all that, we managed to deck out the whole countertop.
So aside from the actual cost of materials, what's the relative approximate cost of this bar?
$100,000.
That's what I thought.
Probably $100,000 with the floor, 140. You know.
Nick, you said you saw a couple of vintage.
Well, I'm assuming that we're going to get some B-roll of the bar so the audience can see what we're talking about. And there is an X-Men, Uncanny X-Men #1 cover amongst these, and this is no reprint. This is a X-Men #1. Not only is there an X-Men #1, but it looks like it was in great condition, which means you took a cover off of a book worth thousands of dollars. But on the other hand, when all's said and done, it just makes it that much cooler. So I got to concede the coolness of having the balls to do that. But the financially responsible person says, why do you do that?
Well, these have been in a box for 25 years. So when it came time to start putting this together, there wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into anything but making sure we cut it straight. Right. Just cut the cover off straight,
Can I ask Jeremy, since we're here doing the show, kind of to get your geek on a little bit, what comic books did you grow up loving? What are some of your favorite superheroes? What do you think of all these movies coming out these days?
Some of this stuff I used to have a hard time wrapping my head around because I'm used to the original stuff, the real deal. Adam West, Burt Ward. I mean, I grew up, Linda Carter. Yeah. I grew up with that stuff, so it was really kind of to see, I'll never forget, and I told my wife this last week. It was 1989. My grandfather and grandmother took me to Florida, and we got to see Batman, the very first one. Yeah. And I got the comic book that came with the movie. I mean, it was just, I still have it to this day. It's not in here. It should be on there, but that was the only one for sentimental reasons. I didn't put it in the bar, and I should have, but I just couldn't take myself to cut it apart,
And yet you cut up the X-Men #1.
I did.
So have you been a fan of Batman?
I've been, my favorite's Wonder Woman.
Okay, what have you heard anything about there's a new movie coming?
I've seen a few things. I mean, I don't really know, but Spider-Man, Batman, Superman.
Did you know Wonder Woman can fly without a plane?
Her plane's invisible.
I know her plane's invisible, but since you liked Linda Carter as
hopefully her toilet's not invisible. Did you ever think about
she in the cartoons now, she can fly. Yeah. She flies right alongside with Superman. I need to go beat up a writer.
Yeah.
Or a whole group of writers. Yeah, it's nuts. What does she need a plane for if she can fly?
Right. And how does she fly?
Right. How does she fly? Nobody from that island can fly. Yeah.
Well, she never flew.
Right. Exactly. I needed to check that out.
I'm an old school guy when it comes to, look at the place. It was hard. And when Superman even changed his costume to the more streamlined, didn't do much for him.
If he doesn't have the red underwear on, it ain't Superman.
Right.
Well, Jeremy, we're pleased to be here.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Appreciative of you sponsoring and letting us hang out here. And
can't wait to eat lunch.
We're hoping to come back at another time for another promotion and eat your food and drink your beer. And,
yes.
And shoot another episode. So thanks again.
Guys.
Appreciate
Thank you
it
so much. Enjoy.
And we'll be right back with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.